So the second expression, full of grace, also is rich in meaning. This expression denotes Mary receiving a great gift of grace of God in her life. And the kind of grace that Mary receives is the grace that brings about redemption and the work of salvation. We see a similar word used in Paul's letter to the Ephesians in chapter 1, verses 6 through 8, where there God's grace is described as transforming the soul, bringing about redemption and the forgiveness of sins. So when the angel says, "Hail, full of grace," he's announcing to Mary that she has this life of grace within her. And what else is interesting about this particular Greek word for full of grace is that it describes an action that began in the past and continues into the present. So Mary is hearing that she already has this life of grace within her, even before the angel Gabriel appeared to her. And another thing that many scholars note is that this word, full of grace, is given to Mary as like a new name, like a title. Notice that the angel doesn't say, "Hail Mary," but addresses Mary with this title, full of grace. And as John Paul II pointed out, this title expresses something profound about her soul. Her soul is full of grace. So this expression, full of grace, points to a particular dogma about Mary, and that is the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. What is this dogma all about? It's the idea that Mary was conceived full of grace in her mother's womb, and that she remained faithful to this grace all her life. Now, is there any biblical proof text for this? I wouldn't say this is a proof text, but it does offer biblical support, noting that Mary already has this life of grace within her. Now, some people may wonder about this dogma. Why is Mary conceived full of grace? Why do Catholics believe that? Is this in any way taking away from Christ's great work of salvation? That doesn't Mary need to be saved like the rest of us? Well, Mary does need salvation, but she receives this great gift in anticipation. It's like this. My wife's nephew once had a big accident in the laundry machine. His mom was down in the laundry room and was unloading the laundry and putting clothes into the washer and taking clothes out of the dryer. And she has the son on top of the dryer, and he's looking over at the washer. And when the mother turned around, suddenly she turned back and noticed the little boy had fallen into the washing machine. She saw his legs swishing back and forth up in the air. Now, if she had turned around 1 second earlier, she could have grabbed him and caught him before he fell into the washing machine. But instead, she had to pull him out after he fell into the laundry machine. Now, in either case, the mother here would be saving the child, whether she pulled him out afterwards or caught him before he fell in. What we see here are two different ways salvation can be worked out, two different ways someone can be saved. Most of us, the rest of us, are saved after we've fallen into sin. We entered this world with original sin, and we need to be rescued. Mary, however, was saved before she fell in. Mary was saved in anticipation. God gave her the fullness of grace at the moment of her conception. So she's completely dependent on God, just as the rest of us are. It's just that she received salvation at the moment of her conception. But why would God do this? Why would God make Mary conceived full of grace? This isn't for Mary's sake alone, no. This great gift is given to Mary for her particular role of being the mother of the Son of God. It's fitting that if Mary's going to be the mother, not of any ordinary child, but the Holy Son of God himself, it's fitting that she would be conceived full of grace, to be a holy temple, a holy vessel to house the Holy Son of God. So picture those beautiful words spoken to Mary some 2,000 years ago, "Hail, full of grace," being spoken right here in Nazareth within these very walls.